Honda and Acura are back here in 2023. Their sales have not completely recovered, but they're getting there. And manufacturers are once again dropping money in order for you to get into a new car. We're going to start over at automotive news here. Yes, Ford is increasing, but Toyota is snapping its losing streak. Honda is surging. Hyundai and Kia are posting double-digit gains. And that's just the beginning. We're going to talk a lot about the Asian automakers today. And if you're excited for the market recovering here in 2023, at least for new car availability and affordability to a certain degree, smash the like button and let's get into it. Sales volume rose 23% in May. Let's get right into the sales here. We really want to focus on the May turnaround compared to May of last year. On the far right is going to be your year-over-year change over the first 5 months. If you're a geek like me and you're into monthly sales of the automakers, make sure to subscribe because next month will be the first half. We'll go over the first 2 quarters of 2023 and things should be even looking better then. All right, so Ford is up about 12% for the month of May. Lincoln is in the tank. That is not good to see. Maybe they're hoping that the Chinese-built Nautilus will do something for them. But all right, Acura up 112%. We'll go over which models here in a little bit are just doing really well for them. Honda outside of Acura, so the Honda brand up 53%. Going from 69,000 last May to over 105,000. That's much more like it. And when you combine Acura with Honda, they're almost up 60% so far for the month of May, up 20% on the year. Genesis had the best May ever, up 27%, selling at 5,600 units. I feel like they're kind of going to be hitting a ceiling here. I don't think they're going to be able to grow that much more until they have dedicated dealerships, but we'll see. That's what they're hamstrung by right now is their lack of dedicated dealerships. I think they only have 5 in the United States, and the rest of them are run out of the side door of a Hyundai dealership. Speaking of Hyundai, up 18% compared to last May, and they're up 16% on the year. If we look at Kia, up 23.4%, moving series volume over 20% up for the year so far. So overall, the Hyundai Motor Group is on another level of consistency and just gaining volume, market share, and just having really excellent products continuously. Mazda, even beating out Acura here for the turnaround, up 117%. How is this possible? Subaru of America, the big turnaround as well, up 28%. Lexus up 25%, while Toyota is only up 3.7%. So my theory here is they just don't have enough components, battery packs, or whatever it is to make the hybrids at the volume that they need. So Lexus has been getting the priority here over Toyota, higher profit margins, etc. So that's what I think is going on. That's why Toyota's not up very much. But the second half of the year for Toyota should be gaining momentum. If we look at the first 5 months, including May, they're down 6%. All right, want to get into incentives here real quick before we break down individual manufacturer sales. Overall, the industry is incentivizing 64% more compared to last year, and it's up 13% compared to April of this year. So still not that high of an incentive dollar amount here, but that varies per automaker. Toyota's the only one on this list incentivizing less than $1,000 per vehicle, which is just crazy. BMW on the other end of the spectrum, nearly $4,000 per vehicle to get it out the door. If we look at average transaction prices, they have leveled out here, guys. A little bit, about 3% up compared to last year, but compared to last month, 0.6%. But check out these month-over-month changes here that we're seeing. We're seeing some negative percentages for vehicles, meaning vehicles are actually getting cheaper. Look, Hondas this year are cheaper than what they were last year, which is just insane. Subarus this year are 3% cheaper than they were last year. Volkswagens are less expensive as well. Here we are in May. They're actually positive, and it should just be gaining more and more as the months go on. So it'll be fun to see what Toyota's doing. So let's get on over to Honda. They are finally showing some light. They're at the end of the tunnel here. Things are looking great for them. They set a monthly record for electrified models for 32,000 units. And what the impressive thing here is a CRV is representing a 62% model mix of hybrids. The sport and the sport touring hybrid CRVs are fantastic, and there's some of my favorite hybrids out there on the market. And it's just impressive that they're able to do it 62% because they were expecting 50%. So things are looking good for the CRV hybrid. And for the Accord, they sold over 20,000 units of the new model, and over 55% are hybrid when they're expecting about 50%. All right, let's get into the individual sales of Honda and Acura here. The Accord is up 80% compared to last May and 18% on the year so far. Civic is up nearly 100% compared to last May, but they're only up 28% compared to last year. This is not the numbers they want to be at. The Civic should be outselling the Accord like 2-1, and that just isn't happening. It's not even beating the Accord in sales. So they're very much still hampered on the Civic, and that's unfortunate. Let's keep moving. Clarity Insight, rest in peace. CRV up 95% compared to last May and up 41% on the year. CRV volume is intact and kicking butt. HRV minus 17% on the month of May, minus 33%. But why is the HRV so far down compared to its brethren? Well, the HRV is built in Mexico. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's down because last year they were selling the old HRV at huge volume before they discontinued it and went to the new model. So we're looking at new HRV model sales versus the old model sales, and it just can't compete against the volume of the more simple HRV with less microchips, whatever shortages they're dealing with there. The Odyssey is up. The minivan market is thriving still, and the Odyssey is taking advantage of that, even though it is old as dirt at this point. They're small trucks, aka larger platform vehicles. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but the Odyssey, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline are all doing well. The Pilot's on that new generation now and moving some serious volume for the month of May, over 10,000 units. And if we look at the year so far, it's up 10%. Ridgeline up 35% this year. Quite surprising. All right, Acura. Let's see the turnaround going on in Acura land. ILX, rest in peace. Integra is up 31,000%. No big deal because they sold 9 last May. This May, they sold 2,800. I had to stop real quick because I needed to put into perspective these Integra sales and how impressive they are. They sold 2,800 units for the month of May. If we go to the old ILX sales, the most I'm seeing that the ILX ever sold in a single month was December of 2012 at about 2,500 units. And Acura seems to be moving at a clip consistently at 2,800 units. So the best year we've ever seen of the ILX was 2013 at 20,000 units. Check out what they're pacing right now for the Integra. This is a huge success for them, guys. They're averaging 2,781 vehicles per month, and that actually might be going up because in May it was 2,806. But if we multiply that by 12, they're pacing 33,000 plus vehicles, which is more than 50% more than their best year ever for the ILX. So kudos, Integra. It's a great vehicle. You can get in the 6-speed manual and the new Type S coming out. Like, the Integra is kicking butt. I'm seeing a ton of them on the streets as well. So just want to throw that in there, and let's get back to Kirk in the past. All right, NSX, rest in peace. RLX, rest in peace. TLX, it's back. Not completely, but it's up 90% on the month and up 23% on the year. MDX up 112% on the month. So MDX is their cash cow. They need to move these up. Well, I guess the Integra also is easy money for them because it is, has that Civic underpinnings. Speaking of Integra, I'm leaving tomorrow to drive the Type S in California. Can't wait to drive the new Integra Type S. It's going to be awesome. All right, the RDX up 70%, and the RDX is not aging well, I would say. I love that it has the standard panel roof. It has lots of space, but when I drove it last, it was getting like 21, 22 miles per gallon, and the AC wasn't blowing cold on it. And if I remember, the sound system was a little rattly in there. So the RDX is due for a redesign, but it drives great. I mean, it's fun to drive. It's just, there are better options out there on the market at this point. and it's still down 1% on the year. We're going to go to Mazda. They sold 33,000 vehicles in the month of May, which is an increase of 117% compared to May of last year. Year to date, they're almost at 154,000 vehicles, an increase of 20% compared to last year. Second best May sale since 1995, back in the days when they were teamed up with Ford. Ford had ownership, or at least a huge portion of them being owned by Ford. And this is a completely different Mazda, completely on their own. You can say Toyota is a little bit involved, but even though Toyota has like 5% ownership of Mazda, we don't see any Toyota powertrains or technology really in the Mazdas. And I think that will change when Mazda starts incorporating their hybrid technology, of course. But man, Mazda's doing it on their own better than they were with Ford. Not really a surprise, but they've got it. They got the boat turned around. They're kicking butt. And they're aiming straight for Acura at this point. The CX-90 has the MDX and its crosshairs for sure. All right, best ever May sales for the CX-50, and they only sold about 3,800 units. They are still not at full production capacity, but things are looking better. And the thing is, that plant in Alabama has a capacity for 150,000 units. So if I get the calculator out and then I take 38, 65, and I multiply that rate times 12, they're only producing at about 1/3 of the capacity that Alabama plant, which is just not going to work out long term if they can't make money there. Mazda Canada doing well, Mazda Mexico doing really well. Mazda Colombia is up 33% compared to last year. Not quite the turnaround they're seeing here in North America. And they actually broke out the sales. I swear I looked at this a couple days ago and they didn't have the sales charts here. So, wow, I'm really excited to dive into this and break it down. Mazda 3 has returned. Year to date change up is 173% compared to last May. Now, there's one more selling day in May this year compared to last year, but the daily selling rate column here kind of normalizes that. So you can look at whatever one you want. I'll just look at pure volume here. But yeah, the Mazda 3 hatchback over 100% and the sedan over 200% up in volume. So that's great to see. They're still struggling on the year overall, down about 12%, but that's not going to last very long. One more solid month. Mazda 6, rest in peace. Can't believe that's still here on the chart. It's because they sold some in last May of 2022. Anyways, Mazda Miata also back on track, selling at about 160% compared to last May, and they're up about 75% on the year. That's awesome. I love the MX-5, one of my favorite vehicles ever made. CX-30 is crushing it, up 106% on the month. And most of them are built in Mexico, if I remember correctly, as well as most of the Mazda 3s we get are built in Mexico. And then you still get some of the mixes, like I think maybe all of the turbo models are made in Japan, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, CX-30 doing really well this year, up 90% essentially. CX-5 down on the year, but check this out. They're up nearly 75% on the month. And so they've got it turned around for the CX-5. Make sure to watch my newest video on the CX-5 and the next generation coming out in a couple of years. We talk about hybrids and whatnot. All right, CX-9. They actually are still pushing CX-9 volume here, guys. It's still out there. They're trying to clear these things out to make way for the CX-90. So the CX-9 sold 3,300 units, up about 10% compared to last year. So rest in peace, CX-9 is a great three-row crossover, just a little bit cramped. Anyways, here, so I like how they break down the CX-90 with the 3.3 inline 6 versus a plug-in hybrid. And it looks like they're able to pump out the plug-in hybrid at about 1/3 of the volume, if not more, compared to the inline 6. That's really good to see, at least here in May, because of the yearly, if you include last month as well, when it first went on sale, they just didn't have any of those plug-in hybrids yet. But now they're in the market about a month later, and that's really good to see. That might be the route I'd actually be going for the CX-90 with that plug-in hybrid. But I have only driven the inline 6 at this point. But the MX-30, gosh, yeah, I can't believe this thing's still on sale. I know it's fairly new. It's only been out about a year for the 100-mile EV. But yeah, Mazda just doesn't even care selling that many of them now that they have the plug-in hybrid CX-90 here. It's just a better vehicle overall. It's bigger. I know it's not the same segment, but for compliance reasons, the plug-in hybrid probably does a lot that the MX-30 doesn't need to anymore. Mazda just very, very impressive. And this CX-90 total, guys, after looking at the production numbers this past, I think it was April, they produced like 6,000, I think, CX-90s. So this volume is going to skyrocket in coming months here that we see from the CX-90 models. Moving on to Subaru. The Outback is back on top with 17,000 sales. The BRZ is doing well, up 200% compared to last May. Impreza is up 126%. Watch my review on the 2.5 RS. That all the new Imprezas are hatchbacks. The Forester sales are up 92% as well, and Ascent is up even as well at 20%. We got a new Crosstrek, and it's up about 6% so far, which I think they've pretty much topped out the volume here in the Crosstrek. I don't think they're going to be able to produce that much more, especially if they can start moving the more expensive Forester. That is up at 92%. And the most expensive, well, I shouldn't say the most expensive because that is probably the Ascent, but the Outback is up 16%, back to being number one selling for the automaker. Legacy down 14%. I don't know what they're going to do with the Legacy. They should just cancel it or bring it in like a Lavorg or something. Yeah, sedans are just not doing well. And Subaru, I mean, why would you get a Legacy when you can get a WRX with the same engine and manual transmission? So anyways, WRX is one of the best buys for Subaru right now, in my opinion, because you can get them for about $30,000 right now, which is an absolute steal for the performance it gives you. Moving on to Hyundai and Kia. They have not been affected like most of the Japanese automakers because their supply chains are different. And it has been showing. They've been soaking up market share these past couple of years as they've weathered the shortages better than just about anyone. Hyundai up 18% for the month of May. They're up 16% so far this year. Accent, rest in peace. Elantra up 102%. Ioniq 5 up 28% for the month of May, but this year it's been down so far, but it looks like they finally got that production back for that vehicle. Ioniq 6 are selling some units now. Make sure to watch my driving impressions in Arizona. 971 units for the month of May, and they sold 2,000 so far. Ioniq 5, in my opinion, is a better vehicle overall unless you need the extreme range capabilities of the Ioniq 6. All right, Kona, down 1%, but up 20% on the year. Nexo up 78% on the month of May. Palisade down 5%. This will surprise you when we get to the Telluride. The Palisade is built in Korea, and for some reason, they're just not able to pump these guys out. Maybe they're just the factory's too busy making other vehicles. Not quite sure on that. Santa Cruz up 12%. So far this year and for the month. That's great to see. Santa Fe down 5%. Make sure to watch my Santa Fe plug-in hybrid review. Very excellent overall. There's just, it's kind of expensive for what it is, and I'd rather just get a Santa Fe hybrid over the plug-in hybrid. And I can't wait for the new Santa Fe, the boxy Land Rover looking thing to come out. All right, Sonata down 14%, and you'll see that with the K5 as well. It's up 58% on the year, so they got some production snags going on right now for the Sonata. Tucson up 27%. This is their highest volume vehicle. Elantra not that far off though. 18,000 units. Elantra at 15,000 units. Veloster, rest in peace. And Venue up 3%. I wish they were making higher volume here of the Venue, but it is up 28% this year. I just would like to see higher volume of cheaper vehicles. I guess Elantra is pretty affordable as well, but I think the Venue might have it and pure cheapness overall. All right, Kia of America. Kia, 10th straight year-over-year monthly sales increases. Just a juggernaut at this point. Telluride, Sportage, and Seltos SUVs and EV6 crossover set all-time May records. Typical Kia, they don't give us percentages like their brother Hyundai. I always complain about it because it gives me more work. All right, looking at the EV6, it is finally starting to see some increases here, but it is down about 3,000 units so far this year. Kia Rio, we need cheap cars. It is actually down for the month of May and slightly, it's about neutral for the year to be honest, but we need cheap cars, so hopefully the Rio can rebound here. Kia Forte, 10%. We need cheap cars as well. And the Forte and the Elantra, the volume's looking pretty strong here. It's up about 9,000 units so far this year. The K5 not doing well, down 5,000 units on the year and down about 500 units on the month of May. Kia Stinger, rest in peace. Kia Soul, cheap vehicles, up about 2,000 units so far this month and 7,000 units so far this year. That's pretty good. Kia Niro. Watch my plug-in hybrid review of it. Not worth the money as a plug-in hybrid. Just get the normal hybrid, I would say, but normal hybrid's really slow. So anyways, it's down just slightly compared to last year, but it is actually up so far this year overall with the new model. Seltos, way up, way up. That's great to see. Good for Kia Seltos, and that's where it needs to be. The subcompact crossover market is huge, taking advantage of maybe the lack of HRVs out there from Honda. Kia Sportage also doing well. This is their cash cow at this point. If you look at pure volume, 57,000 units. Nothing else comes close in their lineup. And the Sportage Hybrid is an excellent buy, in my opinion. I thought, if you can get the base grade, it's an absolute steal. And it's a very good vehicle for the money, very efficient. And I like the design on the Sportage, but that's personal preference. Sorento up as well, up about 5,000, 4,000 units on the year so far. Telluride. Now, I mentioned the Telluride. The Telluride's actually built here in North America in Georgia, and they're not having production shortages compared to its brother, the Palisade, that's built in Korea. So they are taking advantage of it, and they're up about 8,000 this year, despite it being refreshed with new technology and whatnot. And the Kia Carnival is doubling up as well so far this year. Great to see the minivan, the rise in the minivans, my favorite vehicle segment. To be honest, I love minivans so much. Like, honestly, we had a birthday party at the beach yesterday for my oldest daughter, and it fit 2 tents, a cooler, a beach wagon, massive balloons, a table, presents, cupcakes, like, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's a family of 6 as well. So, like, minivan's just amazing. It's amazing. Swiss Army knife, do it all machine. Kia Carnival is the biggest of the minivans in terms of cargo space, I believe, at this point in time. But I'm out of news at this point. Make sure you stay tuned. Tegra Type S this week. I don't know exactly when the embargo is, but it's not going to be too far from now. Also, the GX and TX reveals from Lexus will be happening this week. Then I have a lot of Toyota stuff coming this summer as well. So gosh, very exciting time. Let the good times roll as we head into summer 2023. And then incentives are coming back as well, since volume is coming back, as manufacturers need to incentivize these vehicles to be pushed out of the dealership. So great times ahead. I just hope the interest rates start falling so that the consumer can be back in the driver's seat like they were in 2019, for example. Thank you guys for watching. If you made this far, thank you so much. Smash the like button. Catch you in the next one. Peace.